right there.
Woo!
So Ime Udoka, head coach of the Celtics, still kind of, sort of. Do you call him the head coach of the Celtics?
Yeah, I mean, he's suspended, but
he's suspended. He's not gone yet.
He's the suspended head coach of the Boston Celtics.
So he's been suspended for 1 year. Wick Grousbeck, the owner of the Celtics, along with Brad Stevens this morning, addressed the media. Here was Grousbeck.
As you know, Ime Udoka has been suspended for the upcoming season for breaking team rules. For privacy reasons, I won't be able to offer many additional facts or circumstances around what occurred and why the suspension is in place. I really have to leave you with the wording of our statement, which was admittedly fairly crisp. It's privacy reasons for the people involved is the concern.
So he says it was, quote unquote, crisp. Here was more from Wick Grousbeck.
We weren't planning to elaborate on either one of those topics, but the suspension comes with a significant financial, I'll at least say a significant financial penalty when you net it all out. So that's an accurate statement. Very significant financial penalty and multiple violations. There were a couple of violations at least. Yep.
A lot of people are talking about the team and how the team handled this. We will talk about that in the 4 o'clock hour. I first wanted to ask you, Ramie, who's the number one person or entity to blame here? To me, it's rather obvious. I think it's one Ime Udoka.
I mean, without knowing all the details of the situation, all arrows seem to be pointing at Ime Udoka.
Yes.
I would have to agree with you. Yes.
And you talk about the details. Let's update people today if you haven't heard. So Shams Charania came out last night, and his first report said it was a consensual relationship. Charania's report last night said that it was a consensual relationship up until a point. Then it was no longer consensual, and that Ime continued to kind of talk to the woman and approach the woman, and who knows what else other than that. We also found out today from Nia Long that she was with Ime. There were some rumors about them being separated. That is not the truth. She said she was with Ime.
They were looking for houses. Yeah. This man was looking for houses with Nia Long. What are you doing?
With their son.
With their
10-year-old son. They were in Boston just as recently as 2 weeks ago looking for a house. She had no idea that any of this was happening. She was blindsided, and the only reason apparently that she was blindsided was because Ime knew this was going to come out, and he knew he had to fess up. So that is the very latest about what's going on. Then our friend Matt Barnes jumped in, and here's what Barnes said today on social media about this situation.
So last night I spoke on this Ime Udoka situation without having all the facts. And I think as a part of the media, often the media speaks to something, and when they're wrong, they won't come out and say it. And since I'm a part of the media now, and I try not to be like everyone else, I try to, report and talk with facts and honesty. And I clearly have to say last night, without knowing all the facts, I spoke on Ime Udoka's defense. And after finding out the facts after I spoke, I erased what I posted, because this situation in Boston is deep. It's messy. It's 100 times uglier than any of us thought. And that's why I erased what I said. Some things happened that I can't condone, I can't back. And it's not my place to tell you what happened. If it ends up coming out, it ends up coming out. But that was the reason why I erased in my post last night.
Cattles and Ramie, we can
talk for him, man.
Well, we can talk about good for him, but not so good for him.
But I mean, good
for him that he deleted it.
But owning it.
And owning it.
Because a lot of people just delete it and hope not too many people saw it, and it's just gone in the ether.
Not good for him,
right?
For commenting on it publicly and defending somebody without doing the work and looking for the facts first. This is one of the big problems. I digress. I'm telling you, from what we know, what's been reported, what has been, said, what the Celtics had to say this morning, the very fact that Ime is the only person involved in this situation that is being punished by the organization, it's pretty clear to me that Ime was the one that was in the wrong. And it's pretty clear to me that
in a number of
different ways.
Yeah.
Because one thing that Wick said today was there is a quote unquote volume of violations. So if you think there's one thing, it's not. There is many things that he did wrong. And I just, man, I'm telling you, Ime Udoka, he seemingly from the outside looking in had it all. He had Nia Long. He had a talented
dream job.
Yes, he had a dream job with a talented team. Team went to Game 6 of the NBA Finals last year. One of the favorites to get back to the finals again this season. He had organizational support from Brad Stevens on down. And apparently he could not help himself. And he got himself into some big-time trouble. And over the past couple of months, Ramie, there has been an independent law firm who has been investigating this matter. They gave the results that they had found to the Celtics, and this is what you get.
And people are having the debate right now. Should we even know this? Should people even be reporting on this? Should people be digging into Ime Udoka's personal life and everything else? And here's the thing, man. First of all, if it's as bad as Matt Barnes painted right there, it goes beyond just reporting on his personal life. I don't know. We don't know the details, but it seems like more than just digging into a dude's personal life. And he did some things that crossed some serious lines just based on what Matt Barnes said and the way that he said it. But beyond that, even if this was the media going too far and digging into things they shouldn't dig into, every coach will stand in front of a locker room of guys and go, hey, guys, got to be on your P's and Q's 24/7, because in this day and age, everybody's got a phone. Everybody's a reporter. Everything you do is under the microscope. And this dude showed terrible judgment in a number of ways in violating what every coach, as I said, would stand up in front of a locker room and say. In addition to terrible judgment in that respect, weakness, insecurity, a lack of loyalty and honesty, to cheat on Nia Long, man. What are you doing? What is he doing?
I look at it and I just, lack of leadership, no doubt. There's obviously, when something like this happens, there's a lack of trust involved within the organization. And that's a major problem when you're talking about a head coach. Head coach operates off of trust. He has to manage personalities. You have to trust the head coach with, critical information, private information. And if he proves himself to not be good enough, to be responsible enough to handle some of these things, then you really have to look at this if you're the Celtics and say, we can't trust this guy. This guy is not a leader. And above all else, there's been a big problem. Hello, Robert Sarver, and what we just went through with the Phoenix Suns over the past couple of weeks. There is a significant issue, not only in the NBA, but across sports, with the treatment of females and the treatment of women within these organizations. And the NBA has been forward-thinking. Becky Hammon and others. You can look at the Celtics organization. They have several women in spots that have a lot of responsibility and clout within that franchise. And so when you have your head coach, first and foremost, violating that, and apparently, again, according to the reports, and I would imagine according to what the law firm found, this is somebody who he had gone beyond the line of the consensual relationship with this female.
Yeah.
And made her feel uncomfortable. We don't know how much more there is, but you're right, Ramie. Judging by what Matt Barnes said, there seems like there's a lot more left. And
he said it's 1,000 times worse than what any of us might think it is.
Much, much uglier. So there it is. I mean, Ime Udoka is suspended for a year. You've got the Celtics now. They've had a couple of injuries, crop up. Rob Williams today found out it's going to be 8 to 12 weeks, not 4 to 6. That's a big deal. And I feel bad for the guys, honestly, on this team. I really do, because they had nothing to do with this. They've had some injuries, and now their head coach, because of his actions, he's gone for the year. It's going to be tough for a team that had big-time expectations.
How are you doing?
Okay.
You're a Boston guy.
I'm all right.
How are you doing?
I'm all right.
Lost your coach. Danilo Gallinari is out. Robert Williams is having surgery.
I'm not going to tell you it's ideal.
Is Malcolm Brogdon hurt yet? Has he gotten hurt? No? Okay.
Can we not speak it into existence? We've seen enough happen in the last couple of weeks. Can we not do that?
You all right, though?